Alright, so check this out, right? Check this out. So, early part of July, end of June, July, whatever, I was looking online to see where people were going to be setting off fireworks, blah, 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 because last year, I was down here all by myself. I've only been here one fucking year. Last year, I wanted to be in New York, over at Hopewell Junction to watch them, right? Because I didn't know what people did down here to watch them, right? So, a year goes by. So I'm looking online to see, where people are setting off fireworks, blah, blah, blah. So I found this place called ParadiseGrill, right? So I was like, there was like, those fireworks like up in Dover, way up in Dover. I wanted someplace local to go, right? So I went over to ParadiseGrill. I was looking online, blah, blah, blah. Right, it was like oh well, there's there were like places all over. Some like just there were places that were like far away. I just wanted something closer. ParadiseGrill down over in Long Neck, right? So here I am, I put in the directions on my phone. I got down there. I was heading, I went through this. I drove through Baywood. Right, it's a golf course, whatever. I took a left. I was following this. I was following some random truck guy. I was like, oh, well, maybe this guy's going to it, right? So I was following this guy who was like driving a pickup truck, right? So I followed him. He went out to like a main road. I got out to a main road, whatever. We were all going down there to the same place, whatever. And then there was this big, huge like parking lot, right? Some idiot was like directing traffic to like this big overflow parking lot, right? Anyway, so I get out and I see a whole bunch of people standing around, like this big whole line. I'm like, what are people waiting for? Like, what's everyone waiting for, right? I'm like, oh, we're waiting for the shuttle. I'm like, okay, so how far is it? How far down is it? Like, oh, just a couple of miles. So other people started walking. I guess, because when I was in New York, I used to go on the rail trail. Right, walking from the BWS. Anyone remember the BWS? The Battered Women's Shelter on Route 55, right? I would go on there and go all the way down and walk all the way up to Route 44. Like I would go from the BWS, cross over the street, whatever, and then hop onto the rail trail and I walk all the way up to where Route 44, so I could catch the bus from 44 to Pleasant Valley and then all the way back. I guess these people didn't realize, that I used to go on the rail trail to, get to certain places, blah, blah, blah. So, it wasn't too far, right? So, I was walking, I was following a bunch of people down to Paradise, back down there. I saw people, in golf carts, right? I'm like, hey, I'll pay you $10, for a ride down there, and no, didn't happen. Didn't happen. I was like, I'll give you $20 for a ride if you bring me down, right? Yeah. Anyway, that didn't happen. I did not get a ride. So eventually, I got down there, right down to ParadiseGrill. It was mobbed. It was fucking crowded and shit. All these cars and trucks and all these the golf carts and shit like that, right? I go up to where, people are having, food and drinks. People were standing in line for, it was a mile long for, food and drinks. I was like, oh, hell no. Hell no. I'm not waiting. I didn't know because I'm from New York. I did not know what people did around here for the 4th of July. I literally did not know what people were doing for the holiday. So, because I'm from New York, right? I would always go down to Hopewell Junction, right? Drive down there, go park my car across the street where CVS is, and then walk across the street, right? I know how to get around Dutchess County. I don't know anything. I still don't know my way around certain parts of Suck-Ass County. Suck-Ass County. I don't know how to fucking pronounce it. Anyway. So, I'm down over there at ParadiseGrill. like fucking, there was like a band, loud music, everyone's having a great time. The line was like long for like, people waiting to like eat and drink. I'm like, screw that shit. No, I wasn't, gonna wait online. I saw shuttle buses coming in, bringing people in and whatnot, right? So I eventually walked back out to where the ocean was and shit like that to go watch the fireworks, right? Fireworks got set off, right? And then after it was done, right? Everybody thought it was done, right? And then it started back up again. Like the fire, it just like, it was like part two. I didn't know they were gonna do that, right? Like how how you watch fireworks, everything, right? All the booms, whatever. Everybody claps to cheer. Everyone cheers and claps, yeah, And then it started back up again. I was like, hey, that's cool, Anyway, so after that was all said and done, I wanted to get the hell out of there. I did not know how to get back to my car, right? I was like, people were waiting for a shuttle bus to get back to their cars. I didn't know how to get back to my car. I did not know, because I'm not from around here. I don't know how. I literally did not know how to get back to the overflow parking lot. So people were waiting for a shuttle, blah blah blah. I'm like, is this people waiting for a shuttle, whatever? And I was like, because traffic going out was blocking the shuttle buses from coming in. Why didn't the shuttle buses just stay in the goddamn parking lot where everybody was? Jesus Christ. So I was like, screw this, fuck it, I was asking the event staff how to get back to, blah blah. I'm like, I just want to get back to where the parking lot, to where people were parked, and they walked all the way in, whatever. And the guy was like, just follow this main road all the way out and keep walking, right? So there I am. I'm a bunch of people are walking, whatever. I eventually walked past this Jeep, right? People I smelled weed, and I was like, all right, cool. These guys, they're playing loud music, whatever. They're smoking some ganja, shit. Like, I was like, I walked by. I'm like, nice Jeep, and I was like, hey, can you give me right back to my car? Blah blah blah, right? So she was like, you're going back to your car. We were speaking back and forth, and then she says, get in, right? So I was like, all right, hop in. It was a Jeep that did not have ducts on the front window. I see Jeeps down here all the time with like these ducts and shit on the windshield, whatever. I'm like, that is the most stupidest fucking thing anybody can do. I was taught to never ever put anything on the dashboard, because if you slam on your brakes, stuff will come flying toward you. I was taught to never ever put anything on the dashboard, because because stuff can fly off, blah blah blah. I was like, you know what? I learned not to put anything on my dashboard, because number one, it blocks your view, right? It blocks your view. Number two, if you slam on the brakes, the stuff that's on your dashboard comes flying towards you. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Anyway, so long story short, this woman and this guy who's like, he's like smoking weed, and he was like in the back of the Jeep, right? I was like, I was in the seat, and he was like in the back where the tire was, or with the spare tire, whatever, Luckily, it wasn't like a enclosed Jeep. It was like, had like a roll bars and shit, whatever. It was all like outside, whatever. So she was like, get in, listening to some tunes. She was going by, whatever. No, I did not get her number. She picked up another friend. I guess she picked up her girlfriend or something. I don't know. But eventually, she brought me back to, this overflow parking lot. Like, she didn't pull into it, but you know, she didn't pull into the parking lot, but you know, she drove like kind of like going right by it. She's like, all right, here we are. You know, I was like, okay, thank you, have a nice day. You know, have a nice evening. You know, she gave me a ride back to my, because I did not know how to get from Paradise Island all the way back to the overflow parking lot. It was dark out. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know how to get back there. Yeah. So that's what happened on July 3rd. That's what happened on July 3rd. July 4th, I stayed home. I was not about to go out and deal with traffic. Oh, hell no. July 4th, I stayed home. Like, there was fireworks. People were setting off fireworks across the street. Blah blah blah. Yeah. That's what happened on the 3rd. I went down to Paradise Island. You know, I drove down to like where this big where the overflow parking lot, where the shuttle, where people are waiting for a shuttle bus, whatever. I saw people standing around like, what's everybody waiting for? Oh, we're waiting for the shuttle bus, right? I'm like, okay, well, how far is this Paradise Island? Because like, I didn't know what people were doing for the 4th, right? My first year here, I did not know what people did or do. I still want to be back up in New York. I fucking hate it here. There's no credit unions here where I can get free money orders so I can pay my bills. I don't like prepaying for gas. There's no mountains here. It's not scenic here. I have no friends here. There's no malls here. I like doing things my old-fashioned way. I like going into a credit union, getting free money orders so I can pay my bills. I did that up in New York for 40 plus years because I was a member at my credit union. I got free money orders so I can pay my bills. I don't like it here. I fucking hate it here. I absolutely fucking hate it here. There is nothing to do here. Absolutely nothing to fucking do here. Anyway, so that is what I did on the 3rd of July. I went down to Paradise Island. Had a grand old time, and then at the end, where people at the end when the fireworks were finally all said and done, I wanted to get the fuck out of there, right? I was like walking around. I'm like, where are the buses? You know, where are the buses to bring people back, whatever? And some lady, you know, whatever, she goes, oh, you have to go way over there and stand on line. So I go over there. I'm like standing on line. I'm like, where are the buses? You know, when the bus is getting here, right? I didn't realize that the traffic going out was blocking the shuttle buses from coming in. I did not know that. I didn't know that the shuttle buses were being blocked from coming in because traffic was heading out. I did not know that. So I was like, fuck this, you know. I asked a couple of the event staff how to get back to the parking lot where the shuttle buses came from, whatever. And they were like, just follow this road all the way out. All the way out where? Follow all the way out where? Because I'm not from here. Follow all the way out where? And then go where? So I was like walking along, blah, blah, blah. I eventually, came up towards this Jeep. I was like, hey, nice Jeep. And I was like, can you give me a ride to where my car was? And the lady, she's like, she asked me, right? She was like, are you over there in the overflow parking lot? I was like, yes. So she gave me a ride. She picked up one of her friends, her girlfriend or something. I don't know. There was a guy out where the spare tire was. It was like one of those it wasn't like in a close. It was like they had the top off, right? It was one of those Jeeps that had the top off, right? It was nice. It was dark out, right? Dark and nice. The wind was blowing. So she was playing loud. So I was like, hey, nice Jeep, right? So I got it. She's like, get in. So she gave me a ride all the way back to, you know, the overflow parking. Like, she didn't pull in. She just, you know, like, you know, because the traffic was going slow. And then she was like, okay, here it is. Have a nice night. I was like, thanks for the ride. You know. So that's what happened on the 3rd, right? That's what happened on the 3rd. She gave me a ride back because I didn't feel like waiting for a shuttle bus to come in because everybody heading out of Paradise Island, they were blocking the buses from coming in. You gotta be shitting me. So I was like, fuck this. I started walking. I just, like, you know, started walking all the way back, and I came up to this person who was like driving a Jeep. I was like, hey, nice Jeep. You want to give me a ride to where my car is, right? And going along, right, playing lots of tunes, and then she's like, you're over there in the overflow parking lot. I was like, yes, that's where I'm at, right? Like, and she gave me a ride. She picked up one of her friends, right? They were like smoking some weed, whatever, you know. So we were just like, you know, heading along. She didn't pull into the park where that parking lot was. She just, you know, like was like right by it. She's like, and then, you know, she was like, okay, here it is. Have a nice night. I was like, thanks for the ride. So that's what happened on the 3rd. I drove from where I am all the way down to Paradise Island. Well, I didn't drive into Paradise. I drove to this overflow parking lot where some idiot was like directing traffic, right? I guess he wasn't letting cars in to go because it was already like packed as fuck, whatever. Because I didn't know. I thought I could just pull in there. I didn't know. So eventually, I just went in there and had a grand old time, right? So that's what happened on the 3rd. The 4th, I was like, fuck it, I'm not going anywhere. I stayed home. Some idiots were shooting off fireworks across the street from me. So, yeah, that's what I did on the 3rd. The fireworks were nice. Last year, I wanted to be up in New York to watch them over in Hopewell. I don't like it here. I fucking hate it here. It's not scenic here. I can't get... There's no credit unions here where I can get free fucking money orders to pay my bills. I absolutely fucking hate it here. There's no malls here. It's flat here. I don't fucking like it here. I made a few videos back asking, does anybody out there have a couch I can sleep on up there in Dutchess County? Does anybody up there have a couch or a bed or whatever that I can stay at where I can, you know, look around for a place to live? Is anybody up there? Can anybody up there in New York help me out? Can anybody up there in New York please help me out? Anybody. Please let me know. Thank you.